Chance for Standford. Dinked over nicely. Nice play that time by Wendy Rush. It's 5-6.
That's one of the things that makes Wendy Rush an All-American. She picks the right time and place to put the ball over. Setters can't just throw it over anytime they feel like it. It's got to be well chosen, well timed. Wendy Rush does that as well as anybody in the country.
Elenecki is blocked. Chance for Standford. Reno is blocked. Up front, Reno again. Dinks it. And Eggy with the slam dunk. The Eggy Eve puts it away.
John, the Hawaii team is playing with much more emotion than I've ever seen them. This reminds me of that Pacific match when they had the Clum Gym crowd to fire them up. They seem to be fired up by being in the final here. That's good to see.
6-5. Ball served down the line. Stanford sets it up. And again, another smart play by Wendy Rush. Senior from Lake Arrowhead just stuffs it down.
John, she is so quick. She makes that dump so quickly. It's very hard to read. And she absolutely killed Texas with 4 in a row the other night.
Amy Hayes serving, and T. Williams destroying it. Side out for Hawaii, 6-5.
Classic example of a team knowing that it's going to T. They had 2 blockers there, and she still powers it through them.
Stanford had their chance, Chris. T was in the back row for a while, and Hawaii pulled out to the lead they've now got. T's back up front. You know what that means. Ball deflecting off Elenecki. Good dive by Eggy, but she couldn't keep it alive. It's side out to Stanford. A chance to tie it here. All-American captain Nancy Reno serving from out of the basketball court. Ball blocked up front. Chance blocked again. Ball hit over by Reno, but no. Tough shot. She was about 15 feet from the net. Chris tried to put a little bit too much on it. Goes into the net, side out. Elenecki serving.
I like that aggressiveness, though, and that's a good thing about that Stanford team. They really are aggressive. She swung away from the back row. She was going for it.
6-5. Sincerova to Jesse. Jesse puts it down up front now. Stanford keeping it alive. Hayes. Locked up front. Stanford getting some good blocking up front. And ball hit long that time. Little mistake there by Teresa Smith. Kind of a mixture of emotions for Chris McLaughlin, the old Stanford graduate, here with Hawaii. But he's handling it quite well, folks.
5 years on the farm when they used to be called the Indians. I'm aging myself a little, but I do have some split loyalties. But with all we've been through this UH team this year and having lived in Hawaii most of my life, I think the fans back home know where my allegiance lies.
I, of course, have no split loyalties. Stanford on the serve, and the ball hits Wendy Rush hard, and she can't do anything with it. Side out to Hawaii. They lead 7-5. T going to the back row again. There you see Diana Jesse, and there's T. Williams looking over to coaches Shoji and Nowak, see where they want to serve. Ball set up front, and Olesen. Good block by Ahuna. Jesse stuffed up front, though. Back to T to Jesse. In the back row now. Set up front by Rush. Asper off of Ahuna. T. Williams goes off the court to save it. Elenecki hits it. McLaughlin. McLaughlin with a good touch back onto the court, but it doesn't matter because he's not playing.
I think I got called for a throw, though. The referee blew the whistle. Called me for a throw, but it was fun touching the game ball anyway.
But the crowd really appreciative of that effort by the Hawaii team. T. Williams way off the court. Back where the Pacers warm up on the basketball floor, and Elenecki trying to smack it over. Couldn't do it.
There's one of volleyball's best jump serves right there. Teresa Smith led Stanford in aces this year.
Ball lands out at 6-7. Eggy can't handle it.
Eggy chose the right area of the court to hit there. Wide open, that down the line, that right side of the court. And here comes another Teresa Smith jump serve.
Short one up front. Sincerova finds the opening, but no. Good play by Stanford. Ball slapped up front. She keeps it alive nicely and smiles to the side. Great reflexes. Blocked up front, Ahuna. Sincerova Eggy with the Eggy tip. Good diving play, and the crowd is appreciative. They're getting into it. Sincerova, great reflexes. Jesse. Dug out by Stanford. Ball tipped over. Eggy hits it through the blockers.
John, what a rally. Both teams playing great volleyball. Tita Ahuna again is just playing so well on the back row. She's getting dig after dig and just firing this Hawaii team up. That was one of the best rallies in this entire tournament. Good efforts there by Jenny Chafee, who's into the game for Amy Hayes. She dove a couple times to save that one. And a missed serve by Sincerova. This is one of the key factors I mentioned at the top of the show, that Jennifer Chafee came in for Hayes the other night and spurred this Stanford team on to victory when they were down 2-1 to Texas. She will be one of the starters next year, no question about it.
Suzanne Egge doing a lot of talking up front, trying to throw off the Stanford team when they go past her on the sets. You can hear that. And Jesse is blocked, and it lands right in front of her and in.
Diana Jesse's hitting an awful lot of balls. Martina needs to spread out the sets a little more. I think Tida Ahuna and Suzanne Egge could start getting a few more, and I'm sure that's what Dave Shoji just said to Martina.
It is 7-7. We've been told in the clutch Hawaii will probably go to Jesse or Williams. We'll see what happens. There's a set by Sincerova over the head of Suzanne Egge, and Stanford pulls back in front, 8-7.
And again, Stanford is scoring when T. Williams is in the back row. Egge needs to get them a side out right now, or Ahuna. Or a serve into the net will also help.
Laura Olson, a mistake there, serving it into the net. And Diana Jesse, who plans on going back to Alaska after graduating this year, and probably will get involved in counseling, from what we understand. Ball is hit. Good diving save by Sincerova, all over the floor. Jesse up front now. Stanford blocked up front, hits the pole, goes out of bounds. It'll be Stanford's.
Again, Stanford working on the right side of the court, working on Elenecki. They're testing her out as a blocker, and it was successful just then.
8-7 Stanford. Back to serve is Asper. Sincerova, short set to Egge. Egge blocked up front. T. Williams to Elenecki. Off the block. Good diving save by Hayes, and stuffed up front the Egge Eve.
That's something that Suzanne Egge did not do the other night against the University of Illinois. She has more stuff tonight in the first game than she had all night the other night against the University of Illinois.
7-8, Hawaii trying to tie it. We're in the first game. Of course, we go 3 of 5. Egge up front, Jesse. Tough shot for Elenecki, but she puts it in play. Stanford with a chance now. Off the block of Hayes. Or Chafee, excuse me. Elenecki again. Can't put it through the blockers. And a missed shot that time. Wendy Rush.
Very unusual error by Rush that time. Wahine Elenecki having to hit a lot of tough balls out there. She's got a huge block she's going up against. She's hitting all the free plays. It's very, very tough for her to do that. But at least she hasn't made any errors yet.
It is 8-8. And Chris, interesting, neither coach has called the timeout yet. They're going to let them play and see who will call the first one. I think if one team pulls ahead by 2 or 3, they might call a timeout. Meantime, Coach Don Shaw brings back into the game Amy Hayes. She'll go back in to serve, and Jenny Chafee, who did a good job, will come out for a breather.
Amy Hayes has an excellent serve, and she plays great back row defense. That's why she is in for Chafee right now.
Jesse, tough save. And Elenecki's going to have to put it over. Chance for Stanford. Set up outside. Smith off the block by Ahuna, but it goes out of bounds. It's 9-8 Stanford.
Watch for one more point here. Stanford scores again. Watch for Dave Shoji and Dean Nowak to call a timeout. Slow down the Stanford momentum right now.
Jesse sets it up. Sincerova. T off the block and off of Olson. Consensus around here in Indianapolis said Hawaii was the superior team and they should be able to pull it off in 3 or 4. But let me tell you something. Consensus doesn't serve, dig, or spike. And what happens on the court right now is all anyone's going to remember. So you can throw that out as it's 8-9 Hawaii serving. Tida Ahuna, great dig. Off the block, it lands out. T. Williams got a piece of that, but couldn't keep it alive. 9-8. It'll be interesting, Chris, to see who. This crowd is a very appreciative volleyball crowd. I've seen that so far. Don't know if they seem to be pulling one way or the other very strongly. T. Williams is blocked up front. Smith, then Olson. Block her. It's 10-8. And Coach Dave Shoji has seen enough of that. It's timeout. It's 10-8 now. Elenecki slams it over. Stanford serving. Teresa Smith blocked nicely. Elenecki, a great dig, and Elenecki. T. Williams, Sincerova, Elenecki close to the net. Off the blockers, it lands out. It'll be side out to Hawaii at 8-10.
There she is once again, Wahine the Magician. I don't know how she does it with mirrors or something, but she goes up against the biggest blocks in the nation and continues to have success. She needs to get a few more kills tonight, though. She's just keeping the ball in play. I think she needs to put a little more on the ball to be successful here.
Blocked up front by Sincerova, but she's upset because she blocked it out. Stanford serving 10-8. Wendy Rush back to serve. Ball is served out, and coaching staff yells out, and Tida Ahuna, with good reflexes, lets it go by. And with that, coming into the game will be the designated server, Pepper Pot Jamie Payette will come in the back row, and T. Williams will get her first break of the night. Payette serving Smith up front. And Smith down. Smith has been the most effective slam artist so far for Stanford. We look for Nancy Reno to make her presence felt before the night is over too. And watch the jump serve. Elenecki, Sincerova, Eggy, blocked up front. Jamie Payette to Jesse. Jesse through the blockers, but a great dig by Smith. Up front, Sincerova. Eggy over the blockers. That time Smith can't get to it. Ball really didn't hit the floor. Smith just couldn't get down there, got a piece of it, but it went by her. It's side out to Hawaii, and right back into the game is T. Williams. Jamie Payette does her job. Good serve, a couple of good digs, and T's back in.
And here Hawaii has their best server serving, and this is Stanford's weakest rotation. Their three seniors, Rush, Reno, and Smith, are all on the back row. The underclassmen have got to get a side out for them.
Elenecki, good save. Jesse tries to dink it over the top, but there's Stanford. Rush, blocked up front, good play, and can't keep it alive. It's point to Hawaii, it's 9-10.
John, this is very, very important for Hawaii to keep every ball in play here with the three key Stanford All-Americans all in the back row. It's just a quirk in their lineup. It's worked for them all year, but it's also the time when the opposing team needs to focus and concentrate the most.
Sincerova serving deep. Ball set up front. Great diving save by Williams, and the chance now for Hawaii. Sincerova, Ahuna. Smith blocks it. Up front, Asper hits it wide, and Chris, it's taking its toll. It's 10-10.
That's right. The strategy is working to keep the ball in play. Ahuna did not try anything fancy that time. She just hit the ball in the court, and Don Shaw's going to call a timeout here.
Don Shaw calls timeout, and we're tied at 10 in game number 1.
Substitution for Stanford, Karen Anderson in for Laura Olson. Anderson will be serving.
Get up quick, Egg.
Back live at Indianapolis, Laura Olson comes out. Karen Anderson comes back as Stanford gets the side out. We're tied at 10 in number 1. T. Williams up front, Sincerova, Eggy. Diving save in the back row, but no, it'll be side out back to Hawaii.
Wendy Rush made a great dig that time as Suzanne Eggy really hit the ball hard. Wendy Rush at back right is Stanford's leading digger. Very unusual to have the back right player who doesn't have many balls hit at them lead the team in digs.
Eggy off of Rush's shoulder, kept alive by Stanford. Elenecki, long set up to Ahuna. Chance now for Stanford. Jesse with a great dig, almost up to the scoreboard. Sincerova, long one to Elenecki, bangs it. Diving save in the back by Stanford, but it goes under the net, and it's point to Hawaii.
Great set that time by Martina Sincerova. That ball was up above the scoreboard practically, and she took the ball with her hands. Sign of a great setter when they take that high ball with their hands, and Mahina did a super job of putting it away.
And Karen Anderson, a freshman in the game for Stanford, made a great dig in the back for her team. Ball tipped. Here's Sincerova, Ahuna, S. Eggy. Tough set that time. Couldn't do anything with a chance for Stanford. Ball blocked up front as Eggy with the roof. Hawaii stretches it out to 12-10.
That's what made her player of the year in the Pac-10. There she is from San Diego, California.
PCAA.
PCA. Sorry about